Here is what this will take from you. Not what it gives, what it costs. It will cost you the excuse that you are tired. The excuse is true. That is what makes it expensive. You will have to set down a true thing and work anyway. Picture it. The alarm goes at 5. Day 3. The bag is already packed by the door where you left it last night, so the morning would have nothing to argue with. And the morning found something anyway. You do not feel like it. You will not feel like it. That is not the problem to be solved. That is the condition of the work. There is one rep that decides who you become, not the clean one, not the one you take on a good day, in good light, in a good mood. The ugly one, the one taken tired, bored, half resenting it, with no witness and no reward in sight. That rep is the whole secret, and almost no one takes it. There is one condition you keep waiting on before you begin. You will not name it yourself, because naming it would end the waiting. I will name it before we are done, and then I will take it from you. This will not comfort you. It will remove the place you have been hiding. By the end, you will know the exact difference between the men who build something and the men who keep meaning to. It is not talent. It is not luck. It is one rep, taken ugly, on the day every excuse was valid. Stay for that. You are not lazy. Laziness would be easier to fix. You work. Sometimes you work hard. The problem is not whether you work. The problem is when. You take the rep when it is cheap to take. You show up when the morning is clear and the energy is high and the work flatters you back. You show up when starting already feels like motion. You show up when the result is close enough to smell. Those reps count for something. They do not build you. Everyone takes the easy rep. The easy rep is crowded. You earn nothing standing in a crowd. The rep that builds you is the one nobody lines up for. The tired rep, the bored rep. The rep on day 3, when the novelty is dead, the result has not arrived, and the only two things in the room are the work and your reluctance to begin it. That is the rep you skip, and you skip it with such craft that it never feels like a decision. You tell yourself you will do it properly when you are fresh. You tell yourself a sloppy rep is worse than no rep. You tell yourself rest is part of the process. Each line is reasonable on its own. Stacked, they are a machine built for one purpose: to keep you from ever showing up ugly. Here is what you have hidden from yourself. You do not need energy to work. You need permission. And you only sign the permission when the work promises to feel good. So you have trained yourself to perform under perfect conditions only. Then you act surprised when you collapse the moment conditions turn. You treat your mood like a verdict. The reluctance shows up, and you read it as proof that today is not the day. You think the resistance is a wall. It is a door, and you have been calling it a wall for years, because a wall is something you are allowed to stand in front of. Look at the pattern with cold eyes. Every skill you admire in another man was built in the hours he did not feel like building it. Not the highlight, the Tuesday, the flat, gray, witnessless Tuesday, where nothing was inspiring and nothing was on fire, and he did the rep anyway, because he had stopped asking the work for permission to be hard. You skipped it on Monday because you were tired. You skipped it on Wednesday because you were busy. You skipped it Saturday because you had earned a break. Every reason was valid. That is the trap. The reps that build you only ever arrive wearing a valid excuse. If the excuse were weak, you would override it. The excuse is strong. That is the test. The strength of the excuse is the size of the rep. Understand what you are actually protecting when you skip. Not your body, not your energy. You are protecting the version of yourself that gets to believe he would do great things under better conditions. The untested version, the one who is brilliant in theory. Every ugly rep you take kills a little of that fantasy and replaces it with something smaller and real. That trade frightens you. So you keep the fantasy and skip the rep, and you call it wisdom. And the cost of getting this wrong is not dramatic. That is why it escapes you. It is not a crash. It is a slow settling. 1,000 forgivable skips, each one reasonable, adding up to a man who is exactly as good as he was a year ago and cannot say why. Now hear the part that changes the whole thing. The reluctance you feel is not the enemy. It is the marker. It tells you that you have stepped off the crowded, easy ground and onto the ground where almost no one stands. Pain is information. The ache of a rep you do not want to take is not a warning to stop. It is data telling you exactly where the growth is kept. Comfort never points at it. Only resistance does. So stop waiting for the resentment to lift before you move. It is not going to lift. You have the order wrong, and the wrong order is costing you your life in small change. The feeling does not come first and carry you into the work. The work comes first, and the feeling, if it comes at all, arrives late and unannounced, somewhere in the middle, after you have already proven you did not need it. Take it personal. The day that decides it can ruin you without ever raising its voice. Treat it as an opponent. When the morning offers you a valid reason to skip, do not negotiate with it. Do not respect it for being reasonable. Treat the reasonable excuse as the most dangerous one, because it is the one you will actually accept. Consider what the ugly rep actually trains. Not the skill alone, the mechanism underneath every skill. The capacity to act while your own body is voting against you. Lift that capacity once and it transfers to everything. The call you keep rescheduling, the page you keep not writing, the conversation you keep postponing. They are all the same rep wearing different clothes, and they all yield to the same man, the one who moved before he felt like it. The ugly rep is a threshold. On one side of it stands the man who acts on conditions. On the other side stands the man who acts on decisions. You cross from one to the other, not in a single dramatic leap, but every time you take the rep, you are entitled to skip. That crossing has no ceremony, no one applauds it. It happens in the dark, at 5, with a packed bag and a bad mood, and no one watching. The men you envy are not better at wanting it than you. They have simply stopped letting wanting it be the gate. They feel the same reluctance you feel. They get up anyway, while it is still there, unsolved, loud. That is the only difference. It is also the entire difference. You imagine they were handed a different wiring. They were not. They built the wiring by using it on the days it was hardest to use. Every time they crossed when crossing was optional, the crossing got cheaper. That is the part no one tells you. The ugly rep does not stay ugly forever. It stays hard, but it stops being a war. Because you have stopped sending the whole army to a fight you already know the ending of. So stop trying to want it. Wanting it is not the job. The job is to take the rep without wanting it, and to take it well enough that it counts. Show up ugly. Ugly reps still build. A rep done tired, bored, half resentful, with bad rhythm and no shine, deposits exactly as much as a beautiful one. The body does not grade your enthusiasm, it counts the work. The skill does not ask if you enjoyed it, it records that you showed. You do not get to feel ready. Ready is a feeling, and feelings are weather, and you cannot build anything that matters on weather. You build it on the decision that the rep gets taken regardless. Here is the morning. Walk into it with me. The alarm goes at 5. Day 3. The bag is by the door where you left it, packed, so the morning would have nothing to argue with. And here's the argument anyway, right on time. You are warm. The room is dark. Your body files its case, and the case is good. You are tired. That is true. You did not sleep enough. That is true. One more day will not matter. That feels true. Every word of it would hold up in court. This is the moment, not later. This one, the whole of who you become, is decided in the next 90 seconds, and you have been losing it for years without knowing a fight was even happening. So take the rep. Here is how, exactly, and only here. Move before the negotiation finishes. Feet on the floor on the first ring, not the third, because the body that is vertical argues less than the body still warm and lying down. Do not check how you feel. Checking how you feel is how you lose. The feeling is not a thermostat to read, it is a voice to ignore. Do not wait for the reluctance to pass. You will be waiting at noon, then at 6, then at the end of your life. And now I name the condition you have been waiting on, the one I promised to take from you. You are waiting to feel like it. That is the whole of it. That small, quiet condition. You have organized your entire life around a feeling that was never going to arrive on schedule, and most days was never going to arrive at all. The feeling is not the price of admission. It is the reward you are sometimes handed after you have already paid. Stop waiting for it. It is not coming before, only, maybe, after. So you stand up. You pick up the bag that has been by the door since last night, the bag that already did the deciding for you. You go, not gladly, not inspired, ugly, and the rep is ugly. Your form is heavy, your mind is somewhere else. You resent it for the first 10 minutes, and the resentment never fully clears. It does not matter. It counts the same. Somewhere in the middle, not at the start, a small, clean thing happens. You stop arguing. The work becomes the only thing in the room. That is not motivation. That is the silence on the far side of a door you finally walked through. Notice what did not happen. The sky did not change. No one met you at the door to tell you it mattered. There was no swell of music, no proof, no receipt, no moment where the effort announced itself as worth it. There was only the work taken, and a man who is now slightly harder to talk out of it tomorrow. That is what building feels like from the inside. Quiet, unremarkable, almost disappointing. The drama you were waiting for was never part of the deal, and the men who got somewhere stopped waiting for it a long time ago. That rep, the worst one, the one you almost talked yourself out of, is the one that built you, not the easy ones. This one, the ugly rep, is the whole secret, and now you have it. If this is the voice you keep avoiding, the one that does not let you off, subscribe, and let the next morning be harder than this one. Do that once, and the day loses its power to vote. Do it again tomorrow, ugly again, and you stop being a man who acts on weather. You are not building a perfect streak. You are building a man who shows regardless. Slow it down now. There is a fantasy you have to bury before you sleep tonight. The fantasy that someone or something will make this easier. A better mood, a cleaner schedule, a surge of motivation that finally makes the rep feel the way you have always demanded it feel. No one is bringing that. No one is coming to lift the reluctance for you. No one is coming to take the rep in your place while you wait to feel ready. The alarm is yours. The bag is yours. The bad mood is yours. And the rep, the ugly one, the one that decides everything, has exactly one person assigned to it. You. It will not feel good when you take it. It does not need to. It only needs to be taken. And the only hands that can take it are already at the ends of your arms. No one is coming. Take the rep.